Welcome to On Air with Kash. Our guest today stars with Chad Michael Murray and Bruce Willis in the new feature film Survive the Game, directed by James Cullen Bressack, available today, October 8th, in select theaters on Apple TV and everywhere you can rent movies. Please welcome Zack Ward.
Hey, hi everybody. How's it going, brother?
Oh, so good to see you, Zack. Congratulations on Survive the Game. I know this marks one of many collaborations you have with the director James Cullen Bressack. You've been collaborating for years. Back in 2014, you co-founded a production company together, and the first two films you did were Bethany and the horror film Restoration.
Yeah, exactly. That was the first movies that we produced and directed together. We've written a bunch of them together, actually. So yeah, I've known James for about 8.5, almost 9 years now.
I just had James on the show the other day to promote this movie that you guys did together, Survive the Game. I know you filmed it in Puerto Rico. What a cast.
It was fantastic. I don't know if you have any photos of me up on there.
Your character too, you're Mickey. You have bleach blonde hair, you're tattooed. I mean, honestly, it took me a second to be like, wait, that's Zack Ward. I mean,
Yeah.
you're so believable in this character. You're just like, whoa, you forget it's you for a minute. It was that good. And I know that you got James's life tattooed on your fingers for the movie. I mean,
yeah. He wanted to put it out there as like an Alfred Hitchcock homage type of thing. I thought it was fun. And what was neat is the tattoos that they use. Like, obviously, I look very different now as I'm sitting at home in my office, dressed like an old middle-aged man, wearing my glasses and just relax, as opposed to a murderous psychopath in a movie with Bruce Willis. But that's kind of the job. That's the joy of it. It's like Halloween every day. So we put on the tattoos, and what's really interesting typically when you put on tattoos in a movie, in case anybody wants to learn this stuff, so you can even get those really cheesy tattoos off of wish.com or Amazon that you just, you stick on. But the key to making them look really good, they had this really cool thing in Puerto Rico, which is a plant, fruit called yaga, like jaguar, but Jagua. And so what they do is they grind this plant. It's like a berry, and then they put it into like a little, on the baking shows where they have the icing. So they have little versions of that, and then they draw on you with that. And it looks like fruit by the foot, that fruit leather. It hardens into that type of thing. And then later on, you got to carefully scrape it off with a credit card or something so you don't get it on your fingers. But it stays for like 10 days, which is awesome. I was covered in these tattoos. And James and I there was one day we were just hanging out, walking around the touristy area, went into like a fancy store with, things that cost ridiculous amounts of money. And I've got all these tattoos on me. And James goes in, who also has tattoos, but he was covered up a little bit. And so everybody else walks in. And as I start to walk in, they're like, oh, no. Not, excuse me, can we help you? I'm like, yeah, I'm with them. So it was funny to get to sort of live the role of that guy for a while. But yeah, the tattoos were a lot of fun. And if you get a chance to buy Yaga long-term fruit tattoo mix, go for it.
I've had bleach blonde hair in a movie, but I haven't done the tattoos yet. But you got to live Mickey, and you were the real deal. You weren't messing around. I watched it last week. It was such a fun action adventure ride. You got Chad Michael Murray, Bruce Willis, and I know some of our mutual friends like Swen Temmel, Sean Kanan, Christos Andrews.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. You get very fortunate when you're working on a show where there's really no prima donnas. And everybody knows that they're working in hot, humid conditions, having to fight each other, making sure everybody's safe. And between takes, you're making jokes. So it was an awesome experience. Sven, Christos, Sean, Chad Michael Murray, everybody was just a sweetheart. Like, there was no one, Michael Cera, not that Michael Cera, a different Michael Cera, who, by the way, I call Kale Boy. He'll know what that means. And it's just funny to call him that because I'm kind of a dick. But anyways, yeah, it ended up being like a summer vacation, but also getting punched in the teeth. So it was good.
I love it. And you're actually in post-production on a film that you just directed?
Yeah, it's called Patsy Lee and the Keepers of the Five Kingdoms. And it's a 1980s style, The Goonies meets Big Trouble in Little China, magical adventure family film. It's a lot of fun. I'm very excited. It's a lot of practical effects.
Zack, really, it's such a pleasure having you on the show today. When I was a kid, Titus was like the show that me and my family got together and watched. It brought my family together. And then when the DVDs came out, literally, we have a very extended family. And I mean, I think all of our grandfathers were like Ken Titus to a degree. But there were so many moments when you stole the show.
Yeah, that's his piece of crap VCR. But the pot is mine.
There was actually something that I learned from you from watching the DVDs and watching the commentary, was that they said early on in the show, when you guys were starting, you would explore the punchlines that Dave would have from all different angles. And sometimes they're like, is this working? Cast members didn't know what was happening, but the writers and creators were like, everyone get on it, because when he explodes, it's going to end. Surely enough, every time in front of the live audience, you delivered. You stole so many scenes. And that was something that I incorporated when I was writing comedy. So thank you for that. You taught me that.
It was an incredible experience. What an incredible learning experience. And as you know, there's nothing more satisfying than being funny, genuinely funny. And what I mean by genuinely funny is not being mean towards somebody else, but it coming from a genuine place and connecting with a live audience. Like, we had a 500-person audience, and it's the opportunity to play and to discover and find those beats. And, sometimes it's very hard. And I would turn to the writers and I would ask them, like, who wrote this? And one of the writers would tell me, I'm like, okay, you say it. And they're like, oh, Zack, I don't want to give you a line reading. I'm like, dude, I'm not understanding the joke. Just say it the way you meant it when you wrote it, so I can understand it and then make it my own. It ain't ego. Nobody cares. When I do it in front of an audience, they won't know that you gave me a line reading, because I just need to get it in my head. And then they would do that. I go, oh, bibbity bobbity, but bibbity boo. Got it. Okay. And then I'd start to play with it myself. But it really helped me find ways to cut angles onto comedy, because there's a million ways to make something funny, So yeah, it was an incredible experience, and getting to work with all those writers. And as you know, as a writer, like, that opportunity to open up a script and go, I get to say this? Oh, that's awesome. Like, it was fantastic.
Zack, I really can't thank you enough for your time today. It's been a pleasure talking with you. And is there anything that you want to throw out there for your fans?
Hit me up on Twitter, Total Zack Ward. That's ZACK, not ZACH. It's not Zach. Zack. Total Zack Ward at Twitter and Instagram. And Christmas is coming up, so drop me a line, say howdy.
Yes, it is. The holiday season is approaching, and every time you turn on the TV, you are going to see Zack on the screen. No joke. It plays nonstop, the holiday classic, A Christmas Story. Zack as his breakthrough role as Scut Farkus. Get to the theaters, get on Apple TV, and get on all digital platforms today and watch Zack in the action-adventure film Survive the Game with Bruce Willis and Chad Michael Murray, directed by James Cullen Bressack. Zack, it has been an honor, my brother. Thank you so much, and you just keep rocking, and come back when you want to promote your next film.
I will. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. You have a great day.
You too, brother. Thank you so much for rocking out with me and Zack Ward today. You are on air with Kash.